Thank you, Chair, and thank you to the independent group for this motion, which allows us to ask the Minister to account for what I believe is an underhanded, discriminatory reduction of the services of the NDLS. Decisions made with regard to COVID-19 were supposed to be temporary measures, made supposedly in the public interest to protect both customers and staff in a variety of different state bodies. It's an abuse of COVID-19 measures for the NDLS to fail to return to the level of service which existed prior to COVID. It's also an underhand way of discriminating against those who find online literacy difficult. Many of us can put our hands in our pockets, whip out a phone and do almost anything we want, but there are a significant number of people who are unable to perform these tasks. Also, Chair, to add insult to injury in adopting their online-only policy for services, the NDLS is insisting that people use a public services card, as has been mentioned many times today. There are three main problems with this. Firstly, a vast number of people don't have a sufficient internet service in which to operate any site. Secondly, a large number of people do not have a public service card. And thirdly, I will quote directly from an agreement made between the Department and the Data Protection Commissioner regarding the use of the public services card other than the Department of Social Protection. Quote, the agreement acknowledges that other public bodies listed in social welfare legislation (specified bodies) may use the PSC as a means of verifying the identity of the people they deal with, provided that they also accept other methods of authenticating identity. The agreement also acknowledges and accepts that the Department and other specified bodies can continue to use MyGovID as the sole means of authenticating identity for the purpose of accessing online services, provided that an alternative service channel is made available. Chair, I think it is very clear that the use of the PSC card or a MyGovID account as the sole means clearly goes against the agreement and goes against the legal judgment made in 2019. And despite this, if I go onto the NDLS website to apply online for a licence, the only option outlined involves the use of a PSC card. And to quote directly from the NDLS website, applying online is a simple, straightforward process. No need to book an appointment or attend an NDLS centre. Save time and do it the smart way. Apply online today. All you need is a PSC card and your verified MyGov ID for safe, secure access to your online application. If you already have a verified MyGov ID account, apply now. If you haven't got a verified MyGov ID account but have a PSC card, you're almost there. You can set up your verified MyGov ID account using your PSC card at www.mygovid.ie. Or you don't yet have a PSC card. You can book a PSC card appointment by phoning your local intro office. And unfortunately, Chair, due to COVID-19 pandemic online, PSC appointments are not available. And there's no alternative option mentioned. And it seems that COVID is still being used as an excuse for online PSC appointments not being available, which makes very little sense to the conversation we're having today. The whole situation is a mess. It has been badly handled, badly communicated, and bad decisions have been made, Minister. Many citizens that don't have debit cards. Just another impediment your department is responsible for. So with that in mind, I hope that the Minister will outline for us today who is responsible for making the decision to curtail in-person services, who was consulted before the decision was made, what assessments were made about the impact of this decision on those with poor digital literacy or poor access to the necessary equipment or internet services. Why have the NDLS and the Department of Transport broken the agreement within the Data Protection Commission by requiring the use of a PSC card? And to concur with all of the deputies today, I also want to point out, Minister, that when it does come to the NDLS engaging with the RSA in identifying compatible licences of foreign nationals, it's a very slow and grievous process. Many people who come here to work on work permits spend as much as 6 to 9 months trying to get their licence verified so that they may undertake the work that they're here on a permit to take up. And that is something that has to be addressed. It may not be your department, but it is certainly involving both of the agencies mentioned, the NDLS and the RSA, and it's an impediment to how we actually get on and progress as a country. Thank you.
Thanks, Deputy. Now